Welcome, everyone. I'm so excited to introduce you to Anna Lee, who is a serial entrepreneur, speaker, author, as well as a passionate mindset and performance coach. She is the founder and director of several businesses, including Prosper Global Advisory and LeFac. Sorry, it's because of my comments. The facilities manager. Hang on, I'm just losing it. I'll just completely forget about explaining what that is, and I'll hand over to her. She's going to be sharing her story with us today.
Well, first of all, welcome everybody to the live and to the podcast. I'm really happy to be here, and thanks, Emily, for having me. Like Emily said, I am Anna, Director of the Lee Facility Management and Prosper Global Advisory, as well as Anna Lee International. So over the past 8 years, I've helped hundreds of business owners and investors to build and protect their financial wealth, which ultimately create the life they never thought possible. And I've recently co-authored a book with some incredible business owners all around Australia to help uplift, inspire, and transform people's lives. So I'm happy to be here to share with you guys some knowledge, lessons, and a little bit of my stories too.
Amazing. I can't wait to delve into all of this. And I like to start off by hearing about the story behind the story. So where did it all start for you? Go right back to the start, because I feel like this is going to be quite an inspiring and interesting story of how you got to where you are today.
Okay, so I was born in Vietnam, a very small town in Vietnam, and my family moved to the bigger city when I was 6 years old. And well, going through school, I was bullied extensively for many years at school, and you'll get more of the story in the book, which I've shared really in details in the book. And I know that there are a lot of people that being bullied at school, and people just say, oh, kids, and you're going to school and you get bullied, come on. But for me, it was not stopped there. So it culminated into a sexual assault when I was 16. And so that was really tough period that I went through at the time. And now looking back, I am really thankful that that was all happening, because you probably heard of people change because of desperation or inspiration. And for me, I'm not saying that I'm a very really strong or resilient person or anything special, but I really grateful and thankful that out of those situations that happened, I decided to pick and choose and redesign my life by giving it a go to travel to Australia and started a new life and study. And now I'm proudly call Australia my home and being an Australian citizen.
Yeah.
So things happen in life, and we can choose how to we respond to it. There are so many different ways. There's no right or no wrong way to do it, but it's really depends on what you want to achieve in life, I guess. And I chose to travel to Australia at the age of 16 and study here, and now establish businesses and help people in Australia. And so that's my stories from then till now.
Wow. So it sounds like you used that experience to really define what you wanted and what you didn't want, and it drove you forward. So you came here by yourself, so your parents were back in Vietnam?
That's right, and my parents are still in Vietnam. So I came here by myself, and it was a lot of uncertainty at the time when I was 16. I did not know a lot, but all I knew is that if I stay in the environment that I was not supported to flourish and to become the best at who I can be, then I need to make a change. So yeah, I decided to ask for my dad to have the permission to travel and to change the environment.
Wow, it's very brave. So, can you remember the specific moment when you decided that, just out of interest?
Yeah, no, I actually do. I
Mm.
remembered at the time I was doing great. Year 11. Yeah, I just started year 11 in Vietnam, and I was just walking around the school without any friends, and felt like, is this my life, for forever? Because I've changed so many different schools. Like when I was 16, I already studied at 8 different schools,
Wow.
and no matter where I went, I all get treated kind of the same way. And yeah, so I was really extremely not very confident and quite lonely at school. And so yeah, I knew that something had to change, but at the time I didn't know what exactly. But I just thought that yeah, a new environment would be needed for me. And now looking back, and I actually apply that lesson to my life now as well. When things are not going the way that I feel like it should, or I think that would have been better. A change of environment is always really a good way to refresh and to gain new perspective and do things differently. Like yeah, so environment is incredibly important.
That's really interesting. I spoke to another guy called Morgan Nelson. I think it was earlier in the week. No, it was last week. Sorry, yeah, last week. And he was talking about the 4 pillars of success, and one was around your environment, and that is where you physically are, but also the people that you're hanging around. I've heard the saying that you're the sum of the 5 people that you hang around the most, and that's really important to surround yourself with positive people who have a positive influence on your life. So I totally get it. I think it's really good advice to be thinking about the environment that you're in. So fast forward to now. What are you doing now? I mean, you seem to be really active, actively talking about empowering women, and you've just released this book. So tell us why you decided to write a book.
Okay, that's a really good question. So, um, well, I really agree. I absolutely agree with your comment and about the previous speaker of the podcast. I absolutely believe in you are the average of 5 people you hang out with. So I I constantly invest in myself and learning from other people who are much more successful than me. So what how it come about, the book come about, is I was invited to co-author this book with some incredible businesswomen around Australia, and we all share the same um, life philosophy. And the purpose in life is not only just about ourselves, but also to help other people, and so that we can all become the best version that we can, and realize our potential. Because we all notice that there's so many women, there's so many people out there that that's struggling. And there's nothing wrong with when you're struggling. It's actually a really good opportunity to achieve something great. Like I faced bullying and sexual harassment early in my year, but that's helped me to achieve much more when I came to Australia. So see from those stories, and um, we want to help other people with the book. And in the book, you'll find that real life story that you can actually relate. It's not just about success that you can't never really rich, or it's just really out of your imagination. It's not. It's actually really real and raw, and we share really, a lot of vulnerability to inspire people, and people can see that you know there are people that understand their struggle, their pain, and they feel hurt, but then also they can find the lessons that can navigate and help them through their problem, and achieve their personal success in their own way.
Amazing. It sounds like a really helpful tool for women that's quite relatable because the glass ceiling is still there. I spoke to another person on my podcast earlier on in the week, Tegan Dowler, and we were talking about the gender pay gap and unconscious bias and all these kinds of things. Do you feel that those things are still an issue in Australia? And have you ever experienced any of those things?
Um, with this, yeah, actually, this question is, I actually thought about this earlier today, and I do recall one time when I was, earlier on in my career, I was seeking advice from this gentleman, and he said, it's actually harder for female to network, because at the time I already started networking a lot and connecting with people and learning from people, and that's my passion. Obviously, it was not easy at the start, and it's you always feel awkward, and you have to get through all those ice-breaking moments. So I asked for those advice, and he said, it's actually harder for female to network. But after I've done a lot of that over the years, and I realized that if you as female, you think that we have something less to offer, or as a female, automatically it's harder for us, then you just created even more barrier for you to start anything. And then when I do a lot of those networking, and then later on I realized that is that hard or is it easy? It's really up to you, and it's all start with your mind.
Exactly.
And you can use your your own personal. Everybody is unique, so you have something to offer very different from the other person. And I find that as a female, it just really depends on how you hold yourself and how you present yourself to other people, and the approach that you come across when you meet someone, or whether in networking or in business. Then you attract the people that in alignment with your vision, with your goals. So yeah, I think that I don't want to have a view that as women it's harder to do things, but definitely women should support women and empower the other women to achieve great things.
I agree. I love it. I love networking, but I'm a extrovert. So anyway, so tell us about your early career, because I have been stalking you a little bit and I did a bit of research. So you started off studying finance. Is that correct? And then you've now kind of moved into a different space, into the coaching space. So just tell us about that part of your career history.
Sure. So I studied commerce, so major in accounting and economics, and I started off as an accountant, and by the age of 23, I became the partner of an accounting and financial planning firm.
Wow.
So we helped a lot of business owners and investors to with their tax and financial advice, and to build their businesses and build their life, and I really enjoy that journey, and that I think that was really rewarding and fantastic. And then because to be really honest, when I became the partner of the firm, and life was really comfortable at the time, but there was something still missing inside of me, and it was really funny that I went and searched for the answer, and I thought maybe all I needed was a husband and then my life will be complete. Like I've got a perfect job and I've got cars and house and investment properties and yeah, there's nothing else I would want maybe I just need a husband. So I was really rushing to get a husband at the time, but that
Yeah.
didn't go very well. Um, and I'm really thankful that it did not, because um, that gave me a really good lesson too. Is that as female or male, you don't need another person to complete you. Like
Yes.
you are the only person who's responsible for your own happiness. Um,
Great
and
advice.
when yeah, so when there's someone else coming along and that might be your future partner, you're only responsible to love them, to
Hmm.
not for their happiness. So I learned that, and I'm so glad that that did not go well. And um, I I went on and studied a lot about life and success and making money. We all try to do all the same thing, but even when you make a lot of money, what do you do? And why am I still feel
Mm.
like that? And that's why later on I realized that I was instead of chasing and pursuing happiness, what I really was looking for was fulfillment in life. And
Mm.
you can only achieve that by contribution to others and helping other people.
Yeah.
And um, and and that's when I had the mindset shift. You can call it the mindset shift. And from there I just went on and learned a lot about mindset. And coaching also helped me a lot with that myself, and enable me and providing me the tools and the knowledge to help other people, which I already done. And then when I coach other people, when I help other people, whether through the book or coaching, it just gives me the feeling that I cannot buy. Money cannot buy that. It's just magical. So that's why I started Annalie International, which help other people with their performance and mindset in life. And you achieve good results or bad results. It's actually it's not depend on the economy. It's not depends on the pandemic or the virus, or it's not depend on other people. But it's all that with your mind. It's all that with your mindset. There are some people that's really struggling during pandemic, and I really feel for them. But there are some people that are thriving,
Yeah.
and why they thriving, and what they do differently. And the secret is it all starts with the mind.
Yep, I agree. You're talking my language. So, as a millennial, what are your values around business? Why did you decide to start your own business? It's obvious that you wanted to do something that had meaning and purpose, but what else? What else about being a business owner was attractive for you?
To be very honest with you, I grew up in a family where my dad is a businessman. So um, I I don't know, maybe I was just born in a family that um, that's just the way it is. And when I was growing up and studying at university, it's never my goal to be working as an employee. That there's nothing wrong with working as an employee, but for me, um, I wanted to not only working in a role for myself, but also become an employer who I can provide jobs for other people, and having the ability to set direction and set goals um, and achieve it. And um, I don't know, I just passionate about entrepreneurship and businesses. Yeah. And I think in like looking at larger in the bigger picture, things happen around the world because of business owner thinking outside the box, and create some amazing service or products that serve others. So yeah, that I think that's why I am passionate about what I do, and yeah, entrepreneurship and business. For example, in one of our businesses is Prosper Global Advisory, which um, I really all my businesses really starting um, from me thinking, well, how can I help other people, and doing that on a daily basis, and just really enjoying it. So I help overseas business owners and investors to migrate to Australia to invest and to start business here, because it's a beautiful country, and I've done it myself. And after helping hundreds of Australian business owners, which I still do, yeah, I wanted to help overseas as well. So
Amazing. I love it. So, looking back over your career, what would be your biggest achievement to date? Something like you're really proud of?
business career.
Or just your life? It doesn't have to be anything to do with your career. Just looking back over your life, you've had a pretty full life for someone of your age, which I find really interesting with all the millennials I've spoken to. It's like your trajectory to success is fast tracked. Like that's why I think baby boomers dislike millennials so much, is because they had to wait until they were 60 or 70 to work out what their purpose was, or to quit their job and start their own business. So yeah, I'm always fascinated.
No, thank you. I think there's another thing about our generation is that we impatient. So I agree that I admit that I am very impatient. And honestly, when I start doing business with someone and they say, "Oh, it takes time," I'm like, "Oh, okay, let's see how much time we take here," because I like to take massive and immediate action. Like my a mentor of mine always remind us that yeah, well, like you need to start with mindset, and then you just need to take massive and immediate action. I think millennials, um, we just try, we just give it a go, like um, and then we fail, then we learn. So if we succeed, that's great, we keep going. But if we fail, then you learn the lesson. Then why wouldn't we taking action? And you know what I mean?
I do.
So
I love it. So
yeah.
we've got a few questions here from people who are watching. Hi, Luke. So Luke would like to know if you've been coached and mentored by anyone in particular.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been coached and mentored by a number of people, and I honestly believe that even the best coach and mentors in the world need to have mentors, because we as a human being, we are so into ourselves that we can't see different perspective. And we as a human being has so much to offer and so much power, but sometimes we are the biggest weakness, as because we can't see outside ourselves. So I have Aaron Sansoni is my current mentor at the moment. So yeah, he's a philanthropist and a serial entrepreneur, and I think he's worth about $46 million. And he's actually living right in Melbourne here. And his story really, really resonate with me, and he's been helping me tremendously over the past couple of years or so. And I also Aaron Sansoni.
How do you spell his last name? Sansoni.
Yeah, so Sansosi.
Oh, hang on. Sans.
O
S
Soni. Sorry, Ni.
Sansozi.
Ni.
Oh, there we go. All right. I'm going to put it in the comments so everyone can see it. But
so it's my mentor, and my coach is Andrew Elias. I can type in a comment later.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
So Luke also has another question for you. So what are your thoughts around mentorship?
Mentorship. So a lot of people are asking me and get confused between coaching and mentoring.
Mm,
So my understanding of coaching and mentoring, the difference is that the mentor is the person who have been there, done that, and achieved great results. That have a wealth of knowledge, and we can call wisdom. Wisdom is when knowledge that's been implemented um, and extracted after or already having results and being taught to the mentee, and then also coach the mentee so that they can achieve the same results and helping them along the way and helping them remove roadblocks and achieve success. So that's a mentor. Uh, the coach is a person who um, more focusing on around uh, rearrange and bring about resources that that person already have,
yeah,
but with blockages that prevent them from achieving the results. And like I said, we all having most of us has the answer to our problems already, but because we inside ourselves and we can't really think outside um, the box, and it's difficult. So having the coach is, I think I will probably have coach for the rest of my life.
yeah,
That's one of the highest return on the investment that I can possibly do, because um, the person that help you through even like just things in life or business or career, it's all start with the mind, and having someone there to you can share with and without any judgment, because a professional coach, we're going through a lot of training and understanding um, to help other people um, in a way that's really non-judgmental and people can really trust and share their issues and that we can help them with. So, and I think it's really rewarding going back to, why I start business and going on this journey and start coaching is because it's not really about money. Like I already made a lot of money when I was younger, so it's really about giving back. And then that's just magical. Yeah.
amazing. I love it. It's really good advice. I think that when you're in business or just in life, it's so important to have somebody to speak to. And I've always had a coach. And well, when I got my first coach, my business pretty much quadrupled overnight. Like it was just amazing the results that I got. And one of the coaches I recently worked with has a great saying that ideas are like children. We like our own the best. And that for me just sums up the whole philosophy of coaching, because you can tell somebody the answer to their problem and tell them what to do. But at the end of the day, unless it's their own idea and they take ownership, they're actually not going to do it. And so I love everything that you've just said. It's really, really important. So let's move into now you giving some advice for any budding entrepreneurs out there in terms of business. What would be your top 3 pieces of advice or strategies for success if you are starting a business or if you're a business owner?
Uh, Top 3 advice. I think number one advice is listening to podcasts like this one. So I just want to take the opportunity to say thanks, Emily. Thank you again for starting this podcast. And to me, I see this as um, a valuable and way that and admirable way that you're giving back to people, because yeah, resources like this is so valuable. I listen to podcasts and audiobook a lot, because nowadays we're getting so busy, uh, but constantly educating yourself,
Yeah.
and get new ideas, and implementing it, is just, yeah, number one thing that you've got to do. Yeah, so that's number one. Number two is I would say get a coach, because yeah, we just talk about it. It's like we have brilliant ideas, and it's mean nothing unless you remove the roadblock, whether it's about mindsets, or and most of the time it's about your mindset. It's not really about resources, but yeah, it's about something that's really holding you back. And most of the time, it's actually just fear, insecurity, and the fear of the unknown and fear of a lot of things. And once you have that clear out, then you can have the power to take action and achieve results. And then the last thing is the last tips is just really um, just love yourself, really.
Yeah.
And that's so important, like because uh, any great leader always start with self leadership
Yeah.
is number one thing. And if you're not loving yourself, you'll get to a point where yeah, you try to do a lot of things, but yourself has to be strong and stable to be able to take any challenges come your way, to be able to achieve the ultimate success. So love yourself, and yeah, let let it go. Like the things that you've done wrong, or um, things you can improve. Take note of that and take action instead of a lot of people take too much time to blame yourself and feel guilty, and the shame and the guilt. That's that's really something that if you look deep inside and you actually take time to reflect, um, most of us feel that, and I think that save your soul a lot of time and headaches. Yeah, to love yourself more.
I love it. You're talking my language. So it sounds like the first tip was around educating yourself and that thirst for ongoing learning. And that's something I definitely see with millennials. Second of all was, oh my God, now I've got a mental blank. It was, the third was about self love. And
Yeah,
second was, oh, get a coach, get a coach. So yeah,
get a
get some,
coach.
yeah,
Yeah,
love it. So we've got another question from Jim. He said, with all the noise that commonly enters life, how do you discern the areas you should actually focus on to ensure you achieve the things you want to achieve?
that's a fantastic question, Jim, and thanks for your question. Um, I it's funny when I was a rookie, I literally remember the moment I typing on Google how to make decision. That was really general, and I would have no idea, like how do you expect a search engine to tell you such a deep answer? But I thought I don't have anyone to ask, so I asked Google, right? So I type in and I did some research, and I'm like, oh, it's not helpful. um it's like, oh no, it's not, it doesn't answer me, and I was really impatient, so I was like, this is no good. But over so many programs, so many courses, and through coaching, I learned that um, yeah, make decision to focus on the right thing. Um, you need to have we have really massive, powerful subconscious mind, and if you know how to tap into that,
Yeah.
that is the highest quality of decision making and focus that you can possibly find, because uh, most of us, our conscious mind help us growing, like keep us going, and helping us with a lot. But the subconscious mind is the one that giving us all the initiative and the ideas and the creativity and the decision. Sometimes it's like the when people are saying listen to your gut.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep.
yeah, that's really also it same as listen to your subconscious mind. So for myself, what I do is I take a moment every morning and every night to just do gratitude journal and just realign my focus to gratitude, what I've achieved and what other people that helped me, and I really fully recognize that, and not focusing on the trouble or on the problems or on the issue or on the thing that I have to do, because that would be a million things, right? So
Yep.
I realign my mind and my focus to gratitude and also spirituality. You find peace and balance in yourself. that's when you have the clarity of the mind that you can make the right decision. I know that there's whether you believe in Christianity or Buddhism or any other religion, that um, that you find yourself at peace. That's really important to you. So inner peace and balance. Once you have that, you can have the clarity to make decisions.
I love it. It's so important to listen to your gut. If something doesn't feel right, it doesn't feel right for a reason. I 100% believe in that. And also, you touched on something that I'm really fascinated with, because I've interviewed about 100 millennials and I'm writing a book called The Millennial Mindset. And all of this mindset stuff is just you talking my language. And I think I say that every time I do this podcast. But anyway, tick. So what I've noticed is that a lot of millennials have a really structured daily routine. And I think there's a lot to learn from that, because everyone I speak to, they tell me one little thing that they do and I go, oh, I love that. So what's your daily routine?
Okay. So my daily routine is changed. So it's not like it's not perfectly the same for last year to this year. So for example, and I make adjustments to it. Uh, but I would say this. I'm talking right now. Um, is one thing is, like I said, it's gratitude journaling. So I've heard about it so much, seriously, and honestly, this is something that I just started doing maybe a couple of months ago, and I find it amazing because it doesn't take so much time. It takes probably 30 seconds, and that's the whole point. The whole point is not overthinking about anything. It's about writing down, and this is have a powerful effect to your subconscious mind. So when you write, and it's involved when you learn about coaching, you understand that when you write it down, you have to think in your mind first. So you involve that's like self-talk, and you write down that's kinesthetic, and then you read the word, you just write again, so that's auditory, and visual, you're looking at it. So it's your full body really focusing on one thing, and that's gratitude, and that's providing so much power and clarity, like I just mentioned. So in the morning, I write down one thing that I will let go of. Most of the time, I would let go of my fear and my insecurity, and just recognize that we all have fears and insecurity, and it's okay. But I consciously let go of that. So throughout the day, if anything that's coming up that tapping into my, or is that me insecure, or is that something wrong with that person that reacting or saying something? So that is just so powerful. So let go of all of that, and then write down 3 things that I'm grateful of, and it just can be anything. It can be the simplest thing is that I woke up this morning, or I'm grateful for clean water, or I'm grateful for having a shelter. It's a rainy day outside. Anything comes to mind. Yeah, and then the last 4 things that would write down on the bottom of the page would be what am I focusing on, and just really quickly. So most of the time, I would recently I've been writing serving, empowering belief, positive thoughts, and then productivity. So I want to get a lot of things done, productivity during the day. So, and then at night I would write 3 more things, and I will go to bed. So at the moment, that would be really honest answer with you, is that's the only one thing that I have it in routine. I do it day in, day out. Yeah.
Amazing. Do you get up at the same time every day?
No, not at the moment. Very honest.
Okay, it's interesting. Yeah. And we have another question. So Jim's got another question for you. So how do you find the right coach? And what do you do if you are with a coach that isn't working for you? And that's a really good question, because I've had a situation where, anyway, I'd love to hear what you think.
That's another really great question. Thank you, Jim. I believe that. So how do you find the right coach? So earlier this year, I changed my coach to Andrew, and he's been phenomenal. So when you find the right coach, like within 15 minutes, some problem that bother you for weeks, you just unravel it in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So I think with the right coach is the person, first of all, you have to trust that person to give you results. So I think you need to personally trust that person and have um, you know have the confidence in the person that can help you resolve. Because again, it's all start with the mind. If you think that the person is not like you and not understanding you, then yeah, no matter what they say or how they try to help you, it's not going to lead to the right good result. So the right coach is the person that you think that you can relate to, and you feel like they understand you.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that would be one of the most important things. And if you with a coach and you think it's not working, I definitely say change coach. So find someone else that you think that be a better fit. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. He's just asked for my opinion on that as well. So I would totally agree. I think coaching is such a personal relationship, and if you want to be coached by someone, um, they need to, I would say, have experience coaching people in your kind of area and be able to relate to you. And it should be enjoyable. Like when you meet up with them, you should be looking forward to it, number one. And you should walk away feeling really positive and energized. You shouldn't walk away feeling deflated and annoyed. So, yeah, if you're working with a coach that's making you feel the latter, then perhaps it's time to part ways. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I think that I've had a number of coaches along my 10-year business journey. And the very first coach that I had, you kind of get to the point where in your relationship, you've learned all that you can from that person because every coach is going to bring to you something different, a different perspective, a different style. Like I've been coached from people who are NLP trained and then coached from other people who've just got different coaching philosophies. So I think and then mentors are really important too, learning from someone who's walked in your shoes and been successful, who's got to the 46 million. So that would be my answer. So just to wrap up, Anna, what would be your parting piece of advice for any young millennials out there who are thinking about starting a business?
It's really simple. You should just start. Just
Just start.
just start, because
Exactly.
lots of us have ideas. And actually this is not just me. We all watch Netflix, right? And last year I've got a chance to hang out with the co-founder of Netflix. Um, oh, I just have a mental blank. I forgot his name. And he got some really he published a book. It's called "It Will Never Work." So basically, he talked about so Netflix started off with as a really average idea at the time, and look at now, it's a massive success. It's a global success. Nobody not knowing about Netflix. And he said that it's not about the ideas. It's not it's not about one great ideas. An average ideas, and you have to brainstorm with a lot of ideas. So just start and try and see how you go, and just um, overcome challenges, and it's really working it towards to the level of success you want to achieve. So for me, actually with this question, um, it came to my mind with one piece of advice I have to say is that why I like entrepreneurial so much is that we're not accepting no as the answer.
Yeah.
Basically, even say the rule saying this, and I'm not saying breaking the law, but we're not breaking the law, but like always trying to find a way to make things work. And that's why I said if you're thinking about becoming an entrepreneur, uh, thinking about starting business, just really start. Like you need to do it before you are 100% ready. And
Yeah.
that's how you achieve success. Like I became a partner of an accounting firm at the age of 23, because I was just giving so much value, and I just acting like one before I became like one. I helping other people, even though I was a junior position, but I help other people and learn from other people and lead other people from where I were, not when I already become a leader. So yeah, that would be my advice.
Great advice. Just I don't like this saying fake it till you make it, but it's kind of like what you have to do. You just have to take the leap and give it a crack, and that's what I love about millennials. Now we've got one more question from Jim before I let you go. So he said, how do you define if you're not getting along with the coach, or if you just don't feel comfortable with the areas that they're pushing you to get into, especially where it's for your own good?
Yeah, that's a very good question. You know, this is something that so when we get coach, we all want to change something, or we all want to achieve a result. And sometimes the result that we want to achieve is not that functional, and the coach guide you through the process to help you achieve something that more functional in life. I'm not talking about right or wrong, because there's so many different ways to do things, right? Now, when you say that if you have a coach and that person is, you feel like it's not getting to where you want it to be, maybe sometimes you have to sit down and really think, really be honest with yourself and thinking, am I resisting something that within inside of me that I'm not letting go so that I can achieve the results? Or you have to be really honest with yourself. And so if you think that you really already try to push and get to the comfort zone and to achieve great things, then maybe it's not working out with the coach, I think. And as simple as when I say not getting along is that, as you know, maybe some persons speak faster than other, and for me, if my coach speak like this for an hour and a half, then I'm not gonna be able to, like, yeah. So it's simple. It's just that, really. That's more about, you know, getting along with your coach. And yeah,
that's great advice, and I would agree. I think that you need to feel comfortable and you need to be a match. It's kind of like a marriage in a way. And I've always felt when I'm breaking up with the coach that I'm literally breaking up with a boyfriend or a relationship, like a serious relationship, because you tell your coach things, or I do, that I've never told anyone before. Like, you really open up to them. And if it's not feeling comfortable, or if they're pushing you into places that you're not willing to go, then I think that's twofold. Sometimes I think that there's certain areas that we're not willing to be coached in, and they might be our hotspots or triggers. But then sometimes the coach might be picking up or trying to push you down certain paths that you're not interested in, which is, that's a bit of a challenge too. But thanks for your great questions, Jim, and he's given us some feedback that he loves the podcast, so that's really cool. But
that's fantastic.
I could talk to you all day, Anna. You're amazing. Thank you so much for being on the podcast with me today. So if people want to find you and find your amazing book, where do they look?
Thank you so much for having me, Emily, and I really enjoy this conversation. And you know, I really believe that these types of quality conversation is the type of conversation that we should have more. You know, not only on the podcast, but in our daily life, and hopefully we can inspire more people doing the same things. And so, thank you for having me. I would love to connect with all of you through my website. It's www.annalee.com.au. Anna Lee, which is one E, and you can find all information about my book, and you can actually pre-order a copy of the book right now. And I would love to send you a signed copy of my book and all other information on my website.
Thank you so much, Anna, and thank you to everybody who's watched today, and we can't wait for this to go live.
Great. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for having me.